me, then I'll go. Thought that
Welcome to the channel, Grand Colombia, and welcome back to Coffee Time Live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Starting to sound like a DJ. Chris, hello. Robert, hello. Matthew, welcome to the channel. B. Nick, Sin Nombre, welcome back. Howard, good morning. HD chillin', rough week for Colombia. We'll talk about that. George, good morning, Northern California. All over the country, all over the world. Hola. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Okay, we'll get to the chat here in a bit. First of all, I kind of traditionally do a weather report. I've been getting up about 4:30 in the morning, and it's 7 o'clock. I did this. 7 a.m. Coffee time's coming up in a few hours. And I don't know what the weather's going to be today, but it's been raining a lot all over Colombia. And I just find it interesting, these low-lying clouds. Okay. See you soon. And this must be soon. As it turns out, it's a beautiful sunshine, blue sky, puffy white cloud day with a nice cool breeze. Well, where I live, this building, it's always a cool breeze, even on a warm day. But that's it for the weather. Matt, hello, good morning. Craig, Eastern Thailand. Robert, hola. Okay, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the riots because everybody wants to know about it. And I've got a topic that I want to do. Hello from Helsinki. Welcome back. This topic that I want to do, and it's about the Jeeps. And no, they're not just some tourist thing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Now, we may or may not have a guest today. Marshall Powell is back in Colombia. Some of you know about him. I don't know why, but he's got these riveting vlogs. And since he's come back, it's been maybe even better. His power went out. He's sitting in Cali in his apartment, and his power went out. They told him an hour or two. Hey, who knows? So if his power comes back on, he's got his internet. I'll see him pop up on the screen here, and I'll bring him into the channel. If not, then we'll do it maybe next week. I would like to get his take on a video that he just did, actually a couple of them. But first of all, the riots. Let me show you this. He's on fire. Yeah, he's had a couple things blow up, and I'll show them. I'll show one of them to you, and I'll give you a link to the one that he put up today. But the riots, actually, there is a scheduled day for protest. So the whole country knows about it. They plan for it. And that was this last Thursday. And traditionally, it will go 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 days. And let me give you this quick clip here.
Buscaba una así y por fin te conseguí.
Okay, so usually in Bogota, it gets pretty, they get pretty wound up in Bogota. And there tends to be a little bit of violence and some destruction every year in Bogota. And for the rest of the country, not so much. Medellin, maybe a little bit here or there, but mostly the people around them work to get them to stop. They say, hey, knock it off. We got to live here and all that kind of stuff. So this year, Cali's kind of on fire. It's exploded, and there's been a lot of issues. So, what's going on? What's it about? Well, usually it's about gasoline prices and teachers' money. There's a strong teachers union here. And that's what it usually boils down to. But this year, the government announced that they're planning on, although there's no legislation in effect, it's up for discussion. The president doesn't have a majority power, so he's got to get a coalition together. But they want to raise the tax. Now, the tax is only going to apply to people that are making 3 times the minimum. Now, I told you before, the minimum isn't really a true minimum wage as you would think of it. It's really a number established so that they can calculate certain things like government benefits or fines, things like that. Well, this is 3 times the minimum, so it's $600 to $700. And those would be the people that ultimately have to pay the tax or won't get refunded on a tax, because the tax, as it's being discussed, will be in the IVA. The only real tax that takes place in Colombia, unless you're pretty wealthy, is the value-added tax. And I'm oversimplifying it, but it's unlike a place like Ecuador, where you have your value-added tax, but then you've got taxes and fees on pretty much everything that takes place. And so it's a little deceptive, because you look and you say, oh, the value-added tax in Ecuador is only 14%, and it's 19% in Colombia. Therefore, it's so much higher. And that isn't a really good comparison, because if you factor in the various fees and penalties and things that take place, other taxes in Ecuador, it actually comes out to about 25%. And in the United States, depending on your income, it could be 50, 60%. So here in Colombia, it's mostly centered around the IVA till you get up into some other brackets. And so it's relatively low. Why raise the tax at a point when everybody's suffering with COVID and employment and like that? And that's a great question. It's kind of a desperation move, because people here are, I don't know how to put it, for the most part, miseducated on what businesses are and how they operate, what their own government is, how it operates. I talked to a lot of people on these topics over the course of the years that I've been, here or coming here. And it always amazes me how little they know about their own history, how their government operates. So they have quick soundbite ideas of what's going on. And this year, it's further complicated by Petro. If you don't know, he was a leader of the FARC, a criminal and a murderer. And last time around, he ran for president as the liberal arm. That was part of the peace agreement that they would be absolved of their crimes and that they could actually run for office. And he came up to about 40%. But they're essentially a socialist group, and they're basically spreading misinformation about what's going on. It's all corruption. They just want to take from the poor and put it in your pocket and like that. And in reality, the government is actually facing a problem where if they don't raise the level of what they have to operate with in I think it's about 5 years. They're going to drop in their credit rating as a country, and if that happens, everything for the Colombian people will overnight become more expensive, and so it will be a disaster for the people. And so they're trying to head that off, but that's not really the story that's being told to them. They don't have a good, healthy conversation here. They have basically one side shouting at the other, and a lot of things are being shouted that are simply untrue. So, and that's not to say, one side is angel and the other side is all devil. It's like, you got some things on both sides that are problems, but I think the non-socialist side are just not doing a very good job at all about letting people know what's happening. So you take that and you throw in the lockdowns, all the COVID restrictions, businesses that have gone out of business, people that have been thrown out of their jobs, all of these things that were getting better, and all of a sudden it all flared up again. Thank God, not here in Armenia, but in Medellin and Bogota and Cali in particular. And you got a fire ready to be lit, and that fire got lit, and it's ugly. A lot of people here in Colombia are not happy with it. They don't understand how stealing TVs and all of this, which is a relatively new phenomenon in the last decade, or even the last 5 years, and it's become kind of a blood sport on protest day. They don't understand how they can lose their ethics and morals and do things like this. So it's ugly for the people here. It's not the best thing to see. It certainly shows a light on Colombia to the world that is also not really explained, and it depends on what point of view you're coming from, is what kind of information you're going to get. But that's the state of the world these days. That's just how it goes. If it weren't for these lockdowns, I don't think you'd be seeing what's been going on. Okay, Marshall still hasn't come in, but let me show you. I'm gonna talk about Jeeps. Today, it's maracuya, homemade. Alejandra shamed me into I buy them and then I don't make fresh juice out of them. So she shamed me by making a batch, and it was so good that yesterday I made a batch for myself. Okay, Jeeps here are truly beloved. Now, after World War II, and the United States had cranked out zillions of these things, they had stockpiles that, hell, they needed the floor space. They're huge stockpiles of new Willys, Jeeps, old used ones. I didn't know what to do with them. So they started shuffling them off to various countries around the world. Colombia got tens of thousands of them, and almost entirely went to this region, specifically to Armenia, Pereira, and Manizales. This is a coffee region, and it was figured it would be best suited because up until then, you've seen all the Juan Valdez, Juan with the donkey carrying, a couple sacks of coffee. It just wasn't very practical in a mass-produced situation. Marshall, I see you made it. I'll get you in here in just a second. He's here. Don't know how long we're going to, what's going on with his infrastructure. So I'm going to bring him in here in just a second, and I'm going to cover the Jeeps afterwards. We may go a little long today. About Marshall Powell. I became aware of his channel in May of 2017. Now, I had been in Ecuador for a couple years. I had been doing videos in Ecuador for about a year. And as you regular viewers know, I mean, I lived here almost 20 years ago, and I was craving coming back, but I didn't know the situation. And so I decided I was going to take a visit to Armenia and see what it was like. And that was the time I saw his videos. He was here in Armenia. And his videos will really suck you in. You know, they got me and got me even more excited. As a matter of fact, the trip I was planning to Armenia, instead of the couple weeks that it was going to happen, I ended up just grabbing my backpack and coming like right away because he kind of made me homesick in those videos. It was the way I remembered it. And so, you know, that was my first introduction. And of course, I followed his videos and his trials and tribulations and his broken heart and his music and all kinds of things that he's got going on. And so that's who we're going to be talking to today. And let me get this set up. There. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All
Got
right.
my little earpods in.
Thanks for having me. Power is still out here in Cali. I'm running on the mobile hotspot, battery on the laptop. I figured I could just jump in.
All right. Well, yeah. I want to start off before I hit you up with some questions. You've had a couple things blow up. I mean, you just get back here and you've already got a couple things blow up. And I tell you, I'm jealous you got this editor. I hate editing.
Yeah.
But let me show you. Let me show the crowd here. The first one that blew up.
¿Cómo están? Gracias.
Está bien rico, ¿no? Mucho gusto, váyale.
Mucho gusto. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Está muy lindo, John. Está bien. Mucho gusto. Ay, pero le arranca la mano al señor.
Violet. Marshall.
Está rico. Isabela, vea.
Isabela, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
Yo, así.
Yo la más veterana, mi amor, eres muy lindo. Yo soy muy linda.
¿La novia?
No, no tengo.
Nosotros estamos solteras. No desea ninguna de las... Amén.
Para ti.
Dios te bendiga. Yo voy con él. Dios lo bendiga, padre. Vea, me lleva. Uy, su monazo.
Mi amor, al mirar delante de todas estas mujeres.
¿A mirar?
Ah, muy rico. Cualquiera, no voy a conseguir ninguna mujer. Ay, ya, lo quiero. Que no lo valore. Nosotros sí sabemos valorar hoy. ¿Cuándo quiere que lo llame? ¿Cuándo quiera?
I swear, man. Cali's a little crazy. I swear. That was a little much, to be honest with you.
That cracked me up. But that, in a lot of ways, that's Colombia.
Oh, for sure. That's it, man. Yeah, I mean, you're out there and you're talking to people, and then obviously, I think maybe they were probably working or whatever, but that's just also part of the culture is just being super forward. So you get exposed to that stuff all the time.
Yeah, your videos are very good at. It's something I'm just not very good at. Your videos are very good at demonstrating on a daily basis how outgoing and friendly people are.
For sure.
And
I seek it out. It is all. It's part of it is just being out there. You kind of just have to show up, and then people will talk to you. But then also, I know I am making videos, and so I reach out to people or kind of just stand around, start conversations. But it's absolutely, it's a lot easier to do that here in Colombia than maybe in the States or in another culture.
Yeah. I know that there's got to be like a little screening going on. When I'm out doing videos, I'm actually focused on what I'm doing, and I don't put enough into it. My friend Robert clued me in on that. He goes, "You got to get out there, and you got to grab these people." And yeah, I'm not that kind of guy, but you are, and I really appreciate that you do that and you find the right people. Well, in this case, they found you, but
They did. Yeah.
and you checked all your pockets, right?
Yeah, no, I had everything in my front pockets and, just kept one hand on that basically because they were, they were like a foot away from me. So yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean, like you say, just getting out there, my vlogs are definitely very people focused. And I, figured that out like a little bit through my vlogs in 2017. I realized the good content always came from the people that I met. And my favorite content, I make the content that I like to watch. I like to go back and see the people and see the real expressions and the warmth from the people. And so that's what I focus on. And to be honest, like, some days I also just don't feel like approaching people and talking to people. It kind of takes a little, like I'm a pretty shy guy actually, like naturally. So some days it takes a little more. But ultimately, I understand that that's the content. So I try to stick myself out there. It's not like Ace, you watch Ace live. He's such a chatterbox. He's super extroverted. I'm just not like that. I'm not. So I'm definitely a little bit more quiet, and I just kind of put myself in the situation quietly, and then eventually it happens.
I don't watch him or actually many people very much. My life is just pretty busy, but he did a video at a dealership going in and talking to them about, buying a car like that. I thought it was fascinating. He did a killer job on it. And I've watched some others, and yeah, he's about, if you put outgoing on a scale of 1 to 10, he's about a 50.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's pretty crazy.
It's fun to watch, man.
I have a technical question for you. Your camera filming is different, and you're operating with a GoPro 8. Jealous. I still got a 5. Very extremely limited. But I have problems, and I got an Osmo, which has helped a lot. But I have problems with a lot of videoing because, especially if you're in and around any kind of facility, they don't want any filming going on. But you seem to, it's almost like you've got a hidden camera. Are you doing something that
that's basically it?
You have a hidden camera.
Well, it's hidden in plain sight. It's I mean, I got the thing around here somewhere. Oh, it's in my pocket. I just went out to get coffee and did some recording, but I have it around my neck and it just sits right here. And so, I just turn it on when I talk to people, and people notice it. People ask about it. I say, yeah, I record everything, and then people don't really care.
Once you get going.
Yeah, people are nice here. Don't care.
Yeah.
Seeing some comments. Rob, permission to film people. I usually just do it on the fly, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you making videos? You recording?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just like I said, like, yeah, I record everything. I don't really mind.
Yeah, there's the question he was asking.
Oh yeah, thanks. That's cool.
There'll be conversation going on and things kind of get lost. So I ask people if they're asking a question to put the 4 question marks, and then I kind of focus on that. But I normally try to keep questions to the end. But if I've got a guest on, then people can ask whenever. So if you got questions for Marshall, for me, whatever, please lead it with 4 question marks. There's a good chance it'll get ignored. Your hair is lighter. Yeah, what's up with that? What inspired you to do that? That was like really out of left field.
I mean, it was literally just decided as I was getting my haircut, I should probably try going blonde. I swear that's all it was. And it's been cool. I like having it. I definitely feel like I stick out a little bit more in a good way. I mean, good and bad, but no, it's fun. It's fun. I'll probably do it again once I get it cut off.
Oh, what's your channel called, Marshall? What's the name of Marshall's channel? I posted up that link is to his riot video that went up this morning, and it was edited really well. And it has some really good footage. I'd be surprised if that isn't picked up somewhere.
Yeah, it's performing really well so far.
I'm sure it was. I got to get the name of your editor.
No.
No,
that's mine. That's my guy. He's so good. No, he's in my description. His name's Eduardo. He's phenomenal. He lives in Mexico.
My thing is, I can't afford. The channel has to pay for itself, and because I'm not independently wealthy. Oh, by the way, I appreciate you stepping off the cliff and saying, I'm going to make this work and I'm going to make it pay for itself. He's down here as long as he can make these videos work, and you're living on savings right now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the plan is to make these videos turn into something so that you can just keep doing this.
Exactly. I mean, like you say, I also at the moment, the videos aren't paying for my editor and for my social media person. Her name's Crystal. She's amazing. But I hope that they eventually will. And I am kind of taking the dive, and I'm in the red as far as, how money goes right now. I am in the red, but I'm optimistic. And so, for the time being, it's not a profitable thing, but I think it's absolutely worth it. And you're looking at a long-term thing, because my goal here is daily uploads in Colombia, and trying to not get burnt out, which happened the first trip. I just got burnt out, and I just wanted to go home because it was just too much work. And so I'm trying to set it up. I'm trying to set it up to be a machine that works. And so all I have to do is get the content, and then I'm hands off. So far it's been great. I'm 1 week in, and I'm really happy with how it's going.
Yeah, I've been at this over 5 years, and I'll tell you, there are times when it's like, no, I can't.
Dude.
But it's the comments, the feedback that I get, it just keeps me going.
Absolutely.
And every time something happens, like I lose a piece of equipment, people step up and help out with it, and it's like you can't quit on them, So
nice.
So that's what's going on. Are you done with the programming grind?
What up, Craig? I saw your comment on my riots video today. I was a little taken back. I was like, okay. I mean, I understand you're looking out for my safety. He left a comment saying like, oh, you're ignoring the the wishes of the U.S. Embassy and all that, and you're over romanticizing it. I am. I mean, I'll get back to your question here. I am over romanticizing it a little bit, but I'm also I'm being safe, man. Being safe. So I appreciate the concern, but I'm definitely being safe out here. Done with programming? No, I'll be back. And I'll do it on my own time. I do love programming, but I can't do both right now.
I think things need to be put in context too. As far as over romanticizing or over dramatizing, I don't think you're what, 30 years old?
30.
30 years old. You haven't really been through those. I mean, I've been through a million of those things. I lived in Japan for 3 years, and they used to have commie riots that would get quite violent, and there's all kinds of, things that you experience as time goes on. I've been through a million of these Colombian protests, but if it's the first time and it happens to be one of the worst ones, that's not over dramatic. You're seeing it through your own eyes, and that's what you're seeing. And that's one of the things I actually appreciated about it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I also think I think Craig's comment was about romanticizing it in the fact of like not respecting or not acknowledging how dangerous the situation is. So I understand that concern of maybe getting myself in trouble. I understand that concern. Also at the same time, like I just know I wasn't out there like, oh, this is so beautiful or whatever. Like, I was terrified, like head on a swivel, watching everything, trying to get that content. And so I was being aware of what's going on for sure.
Well, another thing is even though you haven't been here in a while, you've got a pretty good sense about Colombia. And the truth of it is, if anything had come your way, you would have had 50 people protecting you.
That's nice.
I mean, that's just kind of how it is. So.
For sure.
What do we got? Marshall, what is your current itinerary? How long in Cali, where to, and then no set plan is, yeah. Well, we know you're in Armenia and visit your old friends.
Yeah, I'd like to come out there and go to Bogota as well. I think my Elizabeth lives in Bogota from those Armenia videos. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I'm going to be in Cali for a little while, maybe a month or 6 weeks, and then we'll see from there.
Marshall, are you mixed?
No, no, I did the 23andMe. I'm like 95% white and then like 5% West African. So no, I'm a white dude.
Yeah, well, I think because you could speak Spanish, that just automatically. All right, how expensive to hire an editor? Yeah, thanks for that. I was,
It ranges, man. I go on Upwork, and kind of depends what you're looking for. I'm not going to disclose, my deal with my editor, but just check out on Upwork and see what people are willing to do. But yeah, that's all I can really say.
HD chillin', thank you. I appreciate the contribution. You mentioned Brazil, so Portuguese is next.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I'm low key pretty intimidated, but it's kind of like this thing. Like, I know how freaking long it's been taking me to get good at Spanish. Years, bro. Like this, I didn't just like show up and start speaking Spanish. I study that stuff like crazy. So knowing that I have to go into Portuguese and it could take just as long, I'm intimidated. But man, I'd be missing out if I don't go spend some time in Brazil. So for sure.
Just be careful.
I mean, yeah. I mean, people would say the same thing about coming to Colombia. So.
Yeah, but they don't know any better.
Okay, but do you know any better about Brazil?
We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, you're right. What's this? All right. If you got questions, make sure you do the question marks. I'm getting lost in all this writing here. Sometimes you miss something important. Have you noticed in Cali that my sense is that they're probably ignoring these lockdowns for the most part?
Yeah, pretty much. The people, yeah. The stores, no, because the stores will get in trouble.
Right.
But the people are out and about. Like last night was crazy. It was so lit last night. I didn't go out and do it, but it was just like all night long. Crazy.
Oh, what do we got? Where in the U.S. are you from?
Seattle.
I know, you ought to be used to these riots, right?
Yeah, right. I've been living in Portland for the past 3 years, so I mean, we were like the city that just never stopped rioting or never stopped protesting. Portland was just crazy. To be fair, I wasn't a part of it, but yeah, it's crazy. It's been happening all over the Americas lately.
Yep. All right, what else we got? Oh, did you ever get yourself an umbrella?
No, no, I need to find one, man.
That's the first thing you should do is get you one of those little stubby umbrellas.
No, man, I haven't been able to find one around here. I keep asking though. I think this week, once things open up, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then I'm going to go to the mall out here and kind of get some stuff I've been needing to get. Because I only have access to these little like corner stores,
Teeing them up. Marshall, can you play guitar?
Yeah, been playing for most of my life, man. 15 years, 20 years. So.
Yeah, one of his first purchases in Armenia was a guitar.
Yep, that was a beautiful little guitar. Just that thing.
Why did Marshall leave Medellin? When did he return to Colombia? Why did he choose to return to Cali versus other cities in Colombia?
All these, lots of questions, George. Why did I leave Medellin? I don't even remember. I mean, I was just at that time just kind of bouncing around to different cities and wanted to see some different stuff. I was moving a little bit more frequently back at that time. So I'll be back in Medellin. That's a beautiful place. It's it's kind of like the vlogger hub now if you come to Colombia, or maybe the tourist hub. I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm a little less attracted to it right now, just as far as kind of doing something a little different. I'd kind of want to do something a little different, but I'll still go back because it's such an amazing city.
I was pretty shocked that you actually went to Cali. Then the salsa kind of made sense. That cab driver was right. Salsa is kind of a dying thing here. Sadly, it's not like it used to be. But I laughed when you went to Cali, and I swear it's like the next day you're on the bus out of there. And when you did that video, said, "Get me the hell out of here."
Yeah.
I've been to Cali, I don't know, dozens of times. I really hate the place. Now there's some nice there, like everything. There's some nice areas. It's too hot. It's filthy. It's full of sketchy people, sketchy neighborhoods. Unlike anywhere else that I've been, it's just, I don't know. I itch when I walk to Cali.
I understand, man. I absolutely have been just a lot more on edge since being in Cali, and I'm just here to try to like really give it a chance, because last time I came and I left really quick, and the vibes were super off, and I felt sketched out, and I just always felt like, man, I didn't really give that a chance at all. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm really trying to give Cali a good chance, because it's a huge part of Colombia, and to just not ever try it out I just don't think would be doing Colombia justice. And of course, the salsa dancing salsa is like my favorite thing in the world the past couple of years, and this is it. I mean, it might be dying, but this is still the most salsa I've heard ever in one place. It's amazing.
I was really surprised that dance studio was big and had a lot of people. Here, last I knew, they were actually shut down, and they haven't reopened. So I don't know.
I think people are trying to make it work. They're just if there's a day that maybe they can have people, it's like everyone come and dance.
The riots follow Marshall. You sure you want them back in Armenia?
Shoot, we'll see, man. Let's see. It seems like it's calming down, though.
Why do you tell the locals in Cali that you've never been there?
Well, to be honest with myself, I don't even consider that I've been here. I came and walked around the street once for a day,
and then ran.
Ran away. I've never been there. I don't know anything about Cali, so it's technically not the truth, but it feels like this is my first time being here.
Where are you staying in Cali? Airbnb?
Yes, sir. Staying in San Antonio in an Airbnb. Really nice.
Visit Barrio San Antonio.
That's what I'm doing. I appreciate it, Robert.
Make a video together in the streets would be fantastic. Maybe. Yeah, he can be the guy that goes up and breaks the ice. I'll just stand there with a camera and look stupid.
That's what I do, actually. That's what I do. My battery's running low. I got about 8 minutes left.
All right.
You come to Colombia to teach English? No. It's just something that just try.
That was to meet people and pick up some extra bucks and just see more of Armenia, basically, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a good way to meet people is to go in and volunteer to carry conversation or whatever. A lot of these small schools, they don't even care about credentials.
When I got that job, I just walked right in and I was teaching later that day. Yeah. As long as you speak English.
You plan to relocate in Colombia in the near future?
Relocate in Colombia is like to a different city? Yeah. I mean,
I think actually it means, do you plan on coming here to live like permanently? Oh, there he goes. Well, I could answer it for him. No, that's not where his head's at. It's not what he's planning to do. His plan at the moment is to get out. His computer died, so his battery source died. His plan at the moment is just to try to make these videos a go, try to make enough money off it so that he can do this full time. And I hope you guys can, spread the word. His videos, all right, mine are great with information, but his do what I never could do. His are entertaining. And he's got a real knack to get people to open up. And just for the sake of entertainment, they're worth watching. So if you can, support his channel and, do what you can. Appreciate it. Battery died. I'm living in Bogota, but heading to Armenia by bus tomorrow to visit. Armenia mostly calm today. Armenia is always calm. We don't have any lockdown. There's a curfew at 10 p.m., but for me it doesn't matter. I'm in by then. So Armenia is kind of the place to go right now because there's not much happening elsewhere. Okay, I'm going to get back to the Jeep. I really want to, because I got so many questions where people misunderstand about the Jeep. They think they're all for show. They think that they're like props. And while there's a bit of that, it's way more than that. So let me get right to this video. Well, it's actually kind of a blurry slideshow, apparently. But these are the World War II surplus Jeeps. Since then, they've brought the newer ones also. But these things are still going, and these are workhorses. I mean, could you see a burro carrying that many plantains or that much coffee? And these are real pictures. I mean, you can go around. They also work as a taxi, guys getting to work out in the middle of nowhere. You go around Colombia, or you go around this part of Colombia, and you'll see these all over on the highway. And there's places where these are the only things that are going to get you there. It makes you wonder how they even hold up to this. They use them for all kinds of things. I mean, they're a rolling fruit produce market. These coffee trucks or coffee Jeeps are, you see them in various places all around this part of Colombia and the coffee region. And they always have awesome coffee. But it's traditional and a matter of pride for people of Colombia to move their entire household in one trip on a Willy's Jeep. And when you see parades, you'll see this as a big part of the cultural history of Colombia, where they would do that. I mean, if you had to make a second trip, it was a bust. It really was a matter of pride. And so you'll see them in parades. Now, the very first parade of these things took place in 1988, right here in Armenia. And here is at the Parque del Cafe, the amusement park, about 2 miles from where I am. And they've got a ride that's of these Jeeps. I was talking to somebody, somebody I know, a lady, and she was telling me that she had been to the United States, and she said, in the United States, if a guy wants to really impress a girl, he gets himself a Mustang or, a convertible of some kind, or maybe a BMW or something like that. She said, here, if you really want to impress a girl, you own a Jeep. It's like a symbol of virility and manhood and rugged and tough and honest and all the things that that are found attractive. So Jeeps are just embedded in this culture, and they are for real. George, we'll be in let's do something, eat a Beludos. I'm always up for that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Is that more of that Canadian stuff? I haven't been able to get anybody to cash it yet, but no, I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. It is time. It's Q&A time. It's time to start asking your questions. Remember, 4 question marks first, then ask the question. You're in that Make a Jeep in Cuba. Yeah, they didn't only come to Colombia. They were all over Latin America, Asia, because there were millions of these things. But Colombia has, I don't know, it's like they've done the most for it. I'm going to try to put more comments up on the screen. Marshall, he's a talent, absolutely. Marshall was the first channel about living in Colombia that I watched on a regular basis. George, thank you. Appreciate it. The reason I want to try to put these up is because some people watch on TV. Now, I want to point out to those watching on TV, and you can't see the comments. Actually, you can. If you go below the video, oh, it's not below the video, but you know, you move the thing like on Fire TV, for example, you move it and you get a bar of choices, and that's where you can go in and do a thumbs up. One of those selections when you have a live chat is to actually see the live chat on the screen. I think it comes up on the right side of the screen. So it doesn't really block anything, but you can see the chat. And, you know, so that's a good way to do it. Can you remind me what EVA is? It's IVA, which in Europe, it's VAT. It's a value-added tax. It would. I didn't go on that roller coaster, but I went on one that was even more wicked. But I don't know. I was busy with my camera. When I went there and did a video on the place, I was only able to cover about half of the park. I'll go back one of these days. And I did a video on that. I did a video coming down the water. I don't know. What do you call it? A water flume or something? It's pretty crazy. Are Jeeps still appealing in Colombia as before? Absolutely. And they bring pretty good money. You mentioned earlier about a value-added tax. Can you explain what it is? Okay, instead of a sales tax, well, the only explanation I can give is kind of long, and I don't want to go into that. But basically, it adds a tax from the source to the end user. And by doing that, it gathers all the amount of taxes that you need to run various things in the government, and then they set that level. And that should be like the only tax, except governments, you know, they get some and they need more, and then they need more. And so then they start taxing outside of that. It's supposed to be in lieu of an income tax, but then you get an income tax anyway. You can Google it. Any news on riots in Manizales? It was similar to Armenia with a little bit of violence, but it wasn't anything like what's going on in Cali. And Victor, yeah, I went right by it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the contribution. Any apartment available in Edificio Provenza? Tell me about prices. I have no idea if they're available because these are not apartment buildings. They're condos, and so everyone is individually owned. And if there's somebody that's trying to rent their condo, the best thing you do is go in, ask the guard if they've got one for rent. I paid $850, but when I was leaving, there was an apartment similar to mine on the same floor, fourth floor, and they wanted $1 million pesos for theirs. So, you know, location is key. You're going to pay, if you're in the north, you're going to pay for a 2 or 3 bedroom, somewhere between 800,000 and maybe as much as 2 million. If you want to live like you're rich. Sold my 88 Jeep YJ. Wish I had. Yeah. I've had some Jeeps in my life, a number of them. It's got a bite to it. Woo! All right, we got any other questions? I appreciate people showing up, helping to support Marshall. You know, give his channel a look, take a look at his videos. he's doing a video every day. He's taking a bunch of clips. He's sending them off to the guy who's editing his videos, and they're putting them up. They're anywhere from, about 5 to 8 minutes long. And I forgot to ask him about this, but he did a live the other day, and I believe he's got a live today sometime. And he did a marathon on his first one. It was like almost 3 hours long. For the first one, I get that. You want to kind of limit the time. You find out for a number of reasons. Not the least of is dealing with YouTube, but it was pretty good. I didn't watch all of it. Frankly, I didn't have the time to do it, but I watched probably maybe close to an hour of it, and it was pretty good. Any apartments available? Oh, I said that one. All right, what else popped up here? Due to quarantine rules in Bogota, we're not allowed to sit down restaurants on the weekend. No, restaurants are open. Restaurants are normal. The only thing is, and I'm not sure if it's actually being enforced, but they announced that we had to go by the pico y placa, the last digit of your ID. That's my cedula. And the last digit of mine is a 2. And so there's only certain days I'm supposed to be able to go into a mall or a home center or a large business. But I went into the mall. They didn't ask me, and I knew it wasn't the right day. It seemed I hesitate here because you may come and try to get into some place, and maybe they'll say you can't because you're not on the right day. But I actually haven't been running into that, so I don't know. People are not big on the idea of the lockdowns here. Jacuzzi and gym working now, not in my building, but pretty much everywhere else in Armenia, including every other building. Yeah, it's pretty annoying. What is your monthly budget and how comfortable you live on said budget? There's no way I'm going to go into that here. I've actually covered things like cost of living. Oh my God. You guys that have been with me for 4 or 5 years, you know what I'm talking about. Robert, different Robert. He's always saying, give me the price, give me the price. It depends on how you live, how you want to live. When you're coming here, we'll get together, have coffee or something, and tell me what you plan on, how you plan on living, and I'll tell you what to expect as far as money goes. But figure anywhere from whatever your life was in the United States. Here it'll be 25 to a third of that cost. 25% to 33% of that cost. Edificio Provenza, what is a Stratus? It was Stratus 5. Sorry, I've been following. Yeah, the last one I did a couple within a short period of time. But if you go to my channel and just type in cost or cost of living, it should kick up all the videos on cost of living. You'll see some in Ecuador also, because I lived there for 3 years. And that'll probably answer the questions that you have for the most part. But, if you come here, I'd be happy to talk to you about it and help you with it. All right, what else we got? Anything else? What time is it? Wow, not quite an hour. Oh, like Marshall Senna. Thanks, Van. We'll do it again soon. When he gets running, you sent me a what's up. If you don't have a what's up, make sure you get one. That's the number one way to communicate here. About what percentage of restaurants there would you guess have closed? Oh my God. I don't know. Way too many. I don't know. I don't know what percentage. Half. A lot. My favorites. Now I've got new favorites, and a lot of places have sprung up from the ashes. So, life is finding a way. Can I contact you when I arrive there? Yeah, you can contact me whenever. If you go to the website, grandcolumbia.live, if you go to that website, you will hit contacts. You'll find 50,000 ways to reach me. I can enter most malls without an ID card in Bogota, but supermarket like Exito and Olympica always request it from me. Yeah, I think you may find that here. Lately, if I'm not buying local produce, if I get my basics through Exito delivered to my door, so I don't go in those anymore. But I'm attached to the mall here, and so I'll go in there in the home center. Many Colombia, yeah, they're springing up every day. We went from just a handful of months ago to practically nobody. As a matter of fact, on mine, I didn't have any. And now I've got like 30 or 40 people because you get a notification, anybody that you have in WhatsApp or in Messenger, you get a notification that they log into Telegram. And just in the last few months, I got 30 or 40 local people. Yes, I know a lot of people here. And, they're starting to use it. I don't know. I don't know if there's advantage, not advantage. Hope springs eternal. All right. I think we're going to end it here. Again, thank you. I thank you for all the contributions. I thank you guys for hanging out with me today, coming visiting with Marshall, and supporting the channel. Some of you have been around for a very long time, and I really appreciate that. So we're going to end it here. See you next week.